everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Emma and Georgia, and today we are watching How to Get Away with Murder, Season 5, Episode 10. If you want to watch our uncut season reactions, link to the Patreon is down below.
Last episode, I think I gave it a 10 out of 10. And
you did?
Yes.
I remember.
It was my first 10 out of 10 of Season 5, and you rebutted me on that, but I had a look, and it actually is my first 10. Although I think Season 5 has had some very strong episodes, but last episode, we went back in time and we saw what happened in the aftermath of Annalise's car accident where she lost her baby, and it just reinforced to us how much we hate Sam. I think it, in a way, I think I did feel bad for him in that moment when he was saying to Annalise how they shouldn't adopt Wes, because Annalise wanted to adopt Wes because he lost a mother, they lost a child, and they need each other. But he was like, no, we can't just replace our child with another child. But then that feelings I had for him instantly went away when he just went to visit his other son that he had laying around and tried to reinsert himself back into that life. He went to visit Gabriel and he tried to get hold of Vivian, but she wasn't answering, and then Vivian's mum came to the door and told him to stay away if he knows what's good for him, because he made the decision to leave. He can't just come back now, and I completely agreed with what she said. He can't pick and choose when to be in his child's life. And
Agreed.
There was that bittersweet moment where Gabriel came round the corner with a basketball and they had that little moment.
Oh, it just sucks, you know, because Gabriel deserves such a better father than Sam. And I think last episode it was so Sam heavy, and it just reinforced for us how much of a bastard he is. Like, he's horrible. I can see, like, they were trying to get us to feel sorry for him, and I felt tiniest bit, but it got shredded instantly. Like, it was when it just, the thing that frustrates me most is that Sam came home with his wife Annalise, and after the death of their baby, Annalise was clearly heartbroken and everything, and she was finding sort of advice to get her through this by adopting Wes. And I mean, say what you want, I don't know, but the fact that Sam just went to find Gabriel afterwards, the son he has with another woman, a son that Annalise, okay, she would have been pissed if she found out, but to be honest, she would have come together with the terms that there was another baby in the mix, you know? I mean, he's not a baby, he's a child, but I think she would have been
I don't get why he left
Gabriel
him in the first place. Like, yes, he cheated on his wife and left her, but why did he decide to not be involved in his child's life when a lot of the scenes we've seen of him and Annalise is how much they talk about wanting children? Why did he leave in the first place? I hope they clear that up someday. Because of what he said in that letter, it seemed like he really wanted to get back in with Vivian and also Gabriel, because he was saying in that letter how he misses who he was when he was with her. He misses her and that he still loves her. I want to know.
A load of crap.
I want to know if Vivian ever got that email, because we know that Eve was the one, but she was the one that printed out his email, showed it to Frank, and then got Frank to tell him to delete it and just stay with Annalise, because Annalise needs him after just trying to kill herself and losing her baby. So I want to know how Eve got the email too, because
I was just going to ask that. I wonder how she got access to it.
She still had a printout copy of it in the present day to give to Annalise. But there was so much that happened, so brief overview of other things. Frank and Bonnie slept together in the past, so
eye roll.
hands praise emoji. Annalise tried to kill herself, and we got that scene of her hallucinating her dead baby, which comes into play with the season 2 scene when Bonnie said it had happened before. So it had a few callbacks to things that have been mentioned, and we finally got to see them. In the present day, Nate was dumping Miller's body, and Bonnie told Frank about it all. So his body's dumped now, whereas the Keating 5 are worried that Gabriel is going to dig up dirt on them because they're all suspicious of him, but Asher said that Miller won't let that happen. Miller's dead.
Yep, it's a bit of a sketchy one. I wonder when people are going to start realising, like, where's Miller?
Yeah.
He hasn't been at work in a while. Where is he?
As soon as they go back to work, things are going to... How are they going to explain it all? Bonnie and Nate.
No.
Laurel found the blood on Christopher's hat.
That as well. Like, how do you explain that? Like, Michaela saw blood on Bonnie's leg and she told everyone, and now Laurel's seen blood on her baby's blanket. Like, that is concerning.
Yeah.
Like, this
I
has
wonder
got
if Bonnie
to...
will blame that on shaving her legs as well.
She can't. There was so much blood.
Gabriel, after his big showdown with Annalise and asking why Sam died and whatever, he went home and we saw him looking at the basketball, and then he rang someone and said that the plan has gone wrong and they found out who he is. So he may not be so genuine about not wanting to find answers than he seemed.
I want him to be a good person. Like, because he seems like so nice when he's like at work, like just cheeky guy, like normal. I don't want him to be some sketchy character. Can you imagine if it's Sam's sister?
We always bring her back up. I'm starting to think she'll never return.
I mean, they bring up everyone in this show. Like, come on. Like, she was like only in it for a couple episodes, but she hates Annalise.
She wasn't in it for very long, and we keep thinking she's gonna return someday, and she
I
never
feel like
has.
she's gonna make a big bombshell appearance. Like, I feel like it's gonna happen.
Not easy believing in ourselves.
Oh God, they're listening.
We all feel like there's something inside us that's missing, and if only we could find it,
We're just
we'd
looking at
finally
motivational
feel
videos.
whole.
Didn't Nate Jr. ask you to stop interfering in his life?
He'll forgive me once he sees that this is our last chance at justice.
Or you're just setting him up for more disappointment?
You're supposed to be the hopeful one in this house.
Yeah, I
Don't go dark on
know.
me.
I love Oliver.
But
He's like the
looking
beacon of
within
hope.
is
There's so
hope.
much mention of Oliver going to the
Means
dark
seeing
side.
not
I'm
only
getting
the good
worried.
parts of-
I would
You reached
be
Bonnie and
panic
your body
mode
released the
1000 if I was her.
Annalise doesn't need us dumping another problem on her.
She also doesn't need to be blindsided.
This is not her problem to fix.
Then at least tell me what you did with the body.
Doesn't matter.
It will when the cops find it. You two are thrown in jail.
That's not gonna happen.
It's so ironic that Nate was once a cop. Well, kind of is.
What do we agree on?
I'm calling Eve.
What the hell do you want?
Annalise?
Do I sound like Eve?
Are you in San Fran?
I talked to him last night. He's fine.
Annalise, what does that mean?
Did he
Why don't you
spend the
bring over
night?
your Gabriel file? Eve would like to say hi too.
I can't believe Eve was working with
She's
Frank.
not happy.
You ready to talk? To yell? Let me get dressed. Go at it.
Can't wait.
I was in grief. That's why I was worried about you. Oh, so you hacked Sam's email because you were worrying about me. I was afraid he'd
hack
leave you
it.
when you needed him the most.
You wanted him to leave me.
No, I wanted to help you save your marriage.
That marriage was over when our son died. We stayed together when we shouldn't have.
Yeah, she should have just left it be.
The governor knows that I tried to adopt Wes. That's enough for her to link me with Sam's killer and reopen the case. Now that kid Gabriel is
Is it
here.
really that strong
picking
an
up the scab,
argument?
So
I got pissed and broke up with him. That's the last time I saw him.
They're going over their alibis.
It was a ring. I left it on him. But a purchase that big will get noticed. I'd rather hear from me than the feds.
Bonnie, how could you question his love for you?
How's this on
He
himself?
wanted to marry you, Bonnie. I hate her.
That wouldn't have been part of a plan, Bonnie.
Asher saw you with him.
Oh, yes.
Asher, why does Bonnie need to see you ASAP?
No idea. Maybe it's about Gabriel.
Obsessing about the guy who could lock us all up isn't such a bad idea. It is when we should be spending that time suing the state for killing an innocent, mentally ill black man.
Where was this altruism when you decided to deport a gay DACA student?
Yes,
I know, let's
bring
not
that
forget
back
about
up.
that, Michaela. Can't pick and choose here.
Gang, look who it is.
Gabriel?
Oh my god.
I saw her leave without her keys. She wasn't home when I got there, so I waited.
Why?
Sam Keating's my father.
Oh, he actually said it.
Look, I know I should have told you all. I just want to know what happened to him.
I think he's
That's why I
desperate.
came to Middleton. That's why I'm here right now.
He just wants answers, but he at least gave him some good ones, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
he
but
told the truth.
I'm starting to think maybe he's working for someone.
You've been lying to us this whole time, manipulating us into kissing you.
That's not
Not all of us.
Speak for yourself, Michaela.
It's your kid's father. You think he did this alone?
Yes, because he did, and honestly, I don't appreciate you barging in here, dredging all this up.
This is my dad we're talking about.
Yeah, Dad, you
He
never
was
knew.
never dad
Okay,
to you,
meanwhile,
though.
Wes was someone that I loved, someone that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, until I realized he was hiding the worst part of himself from me.
They have to make him out to be a villain. I hate it.
I know.
That must be the hardest part, having to pretend he was something that he wasn't.
Might need to borrow some fresh underwear.
Annalise is calling the shots
Where is
right
she?
now. She's like, Frank is
Saved
a
under
little
the one.
little dog to her.
Always thought you two were in game.
That's
Wait,
why
is
he
that
called her the
why?
one?
Are
Oh
you serious? That's why?
Frank's a shipper.
For the record, I do think they're endgame too.
So,
She's pregnant.
oh my gosh.
It was our fifth try. I gave up on the idea of it ever working, but you said you never wanted a kid. I didn't. I guess you just didn't want one with me.
God, that's sad.
Plans change.
Are you
It must be
drinking
really
again?
hard for Annalise to hear.
Did Frank tell you that?
I saw it on your face the minute I walked in the door.
There has to come a point where you take responsibility for your own mistakes.
Okay, Eve, but you're saying that after making Sam stay with her when he was gonna leave.
I mean, I'm happy for Eve having a family now, but yeah, it must be really hard for Annalise to hear, especially
Yeah.
as Eve's gonna be a mom.
I was by the church. You were both far away.
And then
Disappeared behind the tent.
He's gonna have questions when Miller shows up
you
dead.
didn't see me
No.
with Miller.
Oh, he's gonna have questions after that.
I need to know what's going on.
You don't want to know.
I'm not
She's
lying to
not
whoever you want me to lie
stupid.
to unless you tell me the truth.
Show him.
Don't tell me
This is
to.
Miller ordering the warden to kill Nate's dad.
No, that's... Miller ordered the inquest.
It was his cover. It was him, Asher.
You don't.
They're
You have no
assuming.
concrete evidence.
They're assuming! Miller is innocent. I will claim it till I find the truth.
But even his emergency contacts can't reach him, and he's never late. Especially Monday morning.
Protocol will require the investigation division to open a missing persons case immediately.
Oh,
The forensics team will sweep Miller's office for
I
evidence.
hope Bonnie feels guilt for this for the rest of her life. Honestly. I don't feel bad for her in the slightest.
What the hell?
Ron's missing.
What?
Oh, he even got coffee for Miller. God, that's very good, Asher.
The police will hand over
Quick,
Miller's cell
very
records to
quick.
them. They'll want to speak to the last
Can
person.
you imagine if you were late Monday morning to your job and the freaking FBI team come
Yeah.
up? Like, can you imagine?
It's missing persons.
Who's missing?
D.A. Miller.
What are you talking about? No one's been able to
Go on,
contact
Bonnie,
or
that
locate
acting
Ronald
on
Miller for
point.
the last 36 hours. We had a fight on Saturday, and we broke up. So,
You two are seeing each other?
yes, for a few months. Are you sure this isn't a mistake?
10 out of 10 quality acting there, Bonnie.
Eve Rothlow. I'm an old friend.
Emmett Crawford.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's my boss.
He did call.
I got served for a deposition this morning.
For what?
The misconduct allegation. C&G wants me to admit fault under oath.
You can't do that. I'll look over it.
Thank you.
Annalise is always up to something.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean it's something bad. Usually. Like
Does he
maybe
not
she's
know
just
Annalise's
trying to
dating
recruit
history?
Rothlow to come work here. We can woo it together.
Yeah, so you know nothing. That's what you're telling me.
I wish we had more of Tegan.
I need you to ask Miller for the transcripts from Senior's inquest.
Why?
So we can
Oh,
file
God.
Nate's civil suit. Can you ask him?
No.
Why am I the only one that cares about this case anymore?
Isn't it so funny how the gang all knows stuff apart from Asher back in the day, but now Asher knows something that the gang doesn't know yet?
True.
It's like reversed.
Everyone else has stopped thinking about Nate Senior's case because they're so wrapped up in themselves. It's actually nice that Michaela is still thinking about the case because she's been the most self-centered this whole show.
His father was a great guy who took the fall for his friends.
You believe that?
If it hadn't been for Wes, we'd all be in jail. Christopher would be in foster care.
Or my dad would have him.
Worse.
Worst case scenario.
Your father was a superhero, which means you're a superhero. How cool is that?
Nah, anytime they mention Wes these days, it's so emotional.
I know. It's sad because, you know, that's where's his baby and he's not here to see him.
I also think it's because I don't think we'll ever see him again, like in a flashback or anything. So
I think they've pretty much showed him all they need to.
Mentions are all we have now.
Jesus, Nate!
Where's oh God, James.
Mr. Leahy.
What
Thanks so
was
much for
that?
waiting.
I don't know what his game plan is here.
Also, could he not get arrested for battering a cop?
I know, that's a prison sentence.
Just tell me why I'm meeting with the FBI.
Oh, so it was because of his hand.
Not just a guy. The prison guard who shot your father.
Someone ordered those guards to kill my pops. Miller tried to find out who. Now you're telling me the guy's missing. You really think that's a coincidence?
Ooh, reverse psychology.
You're staying here for? Let's not have this conversation. If you're together again, I support that. We're not.
Amazing.
Because you're with that. Stop trying to figure out what's going to make me happy. You don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But it isn't about finding a person, a man or a woman. I have to figure it out.
She's trying to find the things that make her happy.
Yeah.
And it can be a lifelong battle.
I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if he was just at home sleeping this whole time and his phone was dead? I was just remember that one time where he was yelling at you because his phone battery kept dying. Did you ever just get him a new one?
No, he wanted to wait for the upgrade.
Smart man.
Well, his cell phone battery was busted.
What?
His phone kept dying. Peggy confirmed it. So what if that's why he was on the payphone? Not to be shady, but because his phone was actually dead.
There's no other reason he'd have called the warden that day.
What if Nate is wrong?
He is, I'm telling you!
That
It's
would
too-
definitely
oh.
be recorded though, wouldn't it? If he called the warden, they could probably get...
I
I'd
know,
imagine
they-
they're all recorded phone calls.
Any idea why Annalise would be meeting with Eve Rothlow?
Everyone's just asking everyone else about information.
I mean, I know that they were at Harvard together.
But were they together at Harvard? Bisexuality is real, Miss Pratt.
I know that. I have personal experience with the matter.
Oh.
My fiance.
Oh, yeah.
Fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't handle that well at all, if I remember rightly.
Oh my god, are they all
He
post-it notes
always
that he's
gave
given
her,
her?
yeah.
Oh jeez, come on, Bonnie! Oh my god. He deserved so much better. I think she knows deep down that he's innocent, but she's too stubborn to acknowledge it.
Someone told me you have a wiretap on Sykes.
Bonnie.
I just want to listen to that one call.
Oh, she's interested now.
Here's the date.
Yeah.
Keep my mouth shut about Sam. Otherwise,
You get my mom charged with murder?
That's not what I'm saying.
And tell me what the hell this is.
I could have easily taken this to the police if I wanted to hurt you or her. I want to help you.
Because you feel guilty.
Yeah.
There is so much manipulation going on. My brain is going through it.
We both want to protect her, Gabriel. So just help me to do that.
The fact that she looked into it, though, I feel like would make her seem like she's hiding something that she needs to blackmail him.
Go ahead.
He likes
They're
gossip.
ex-girlfriends.
What?
It was apparently just a law school thing for Annalise. You still got a chance.
Ew.
Projecting much?
What?
I think you meant to say
what?
that you still have a chance.
He's interested in her?
No.
Oh, she's interested.
Call me if Gabriel acts up or you need my help with the governor. I can handle it.
I don't know if they're going to be any game.
Yeah, I feel bad for rooting against Eve. They kiss all the time, though, every time they meet.
I think it was a friendly one.
But I feel bad for rooting for Eve to break up with this girl she's with if
I
they're having a
know.
baby.
We have a few questions about a voicemail you left for D.A. Ronald Miller.
I screwed up. They found out who
Wait,
Wait,
he
what?
called Miller?
How did Miller know who he was?
Please call us back as soon as possible so we can set up a
What?
time to meet.
Oh, was Miller actually looking into them? Were we wrong?
Did you know about this?
The suspicious nature of D.A. Miller's disappearance prompted the FBI to open an immediate investigation in hopes of finding the DA alive.
Yeah, because
You
none
were
of them
all
know
day. You
about
had to
it.
have known.
No, I swear.
You can say you knew about this. He is your boss. God, is he gonna spring this on Annalise now?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, let's hear it.
I know he's going to be this.
It wasn't your dad.
How would you know?
Good to body up on
You
the
want to tell
leg.
them? Did she do something to him?
No, you're insane. It's
Bonnie had Christopher at the wedding. I couldn't find them.
Nate.
Yeah. Oh. That didn't take him long.
God, I know, he's gonna crumble.
I'm not telling you so you can fix this.
How's that true? The governor's gonna come after the both of us even harder now.
Because it was the governor who killed Miller.
That's the story they're running with. Yeah, I thought so.
I didn't recognize the number.
Yeah, my phone died. Listen, I'm calling to thank you for handling the Nate Leahy Sr. transfer.
He was just calling to say
problem.
thank
Well,
you.
still, I
Oh
just wanted
my
to say
God!
thanks. His son works for me. He's a good guy, so I'd like to make the transfer as easy
His
as
son
possible.
works for me. He's a
Man.
good
Yeah,
guy.
we'll take good care of him, no problem.
This couldn't be any worse. I
Why
knew
was
it.
Miller
I
such
knew
a
it.
good man?
Miller was a good person till the very end.
He called from
Oh.
a payphone to say thank you.
His phone fucking died, so he paid money for a payphone to say thank you. Justice for Miller, people. Justice for Miller.
There is
I
so much injustice that has gone on in this show.
It's been done so dirty.
Miller, Simon, Wes.
I know. I want Bonnie to show Nate that recording.
Yeah.
Nate needs to know.
He needs to feel bad
He
too.
needs to know. He needs to live with that guilt. Live with it. I know he lost control, but he shouldn't have done it. It's not an excuse.
Yeah, he took someone's life. And then finding out that he's wrong, you know, it's not going to do his mental health any good, but he has to face the consequences of that. He killed a man.
He needs to face the consequences, like you said. He needs to face it. He did this. He made the decision to kill him, and now he has to live with it. He needs to live with the fact that he killed an innocent man. Innocent man. He did nothing wrong. He was being nice. He was
so nice.
He was so nice. Nice gets you nowhere in this show. It gets you nowhere in this universe.
No. Oh,
it's
geez.
cruel. It's so cruel. The bad people here always win, and the nice people get taken out.
I'm glad that we were Miller believers through and
I
through, though.
was a Miller believer through and through. I never doubted that he had ill intentions. Never doubted it.
Why
But
was Gabriel calling him
yes,
though?
I'm about to say that. Why was he and Gabriel talking? That's the only thing that's a bit sus.
That
like,
wobbled
why?
me a little bit. But
yeah, like that's kind of sus, bro. It's kind of sus. But Miller, I'm so sorry. You died for no reason whatsoever.
same as Nate's dad, really. Yeah, he's just done the same thing. Oh god, it's so painful. Miller's death was one of the worst scenes of the show, because like when they showed Wes was the one that died and Nate's dad was the one that died, we didn't actually see them get killed initially. It was more like the shock of it. But Miller, we watched him die and it was awful. It was so brutal. And then to find out that all along he was completely innocent in everything. He just wanted to thank the guy and get Nate's dad out of jail and marry Bonnie.
Now she's left with all these memories, all the things leading up to it, the ring, the post-it notes. How do you live with yourself after that?
I don't know. These guys carry so much guilt. They've lost so many people, framed so many people along the way. How do they deal with things?
I don't know how they are still standing, honestly. And even with Annalise, with the shit she has gone through, protecting everybody around her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I let alone anyone else. Like,
It's
so
funny
strong
that
in this show.
Annalise is always to blame for everyone's problems, but she's the only one that hasn't actually killed anyone.
She's not a murderer. All of them are murderers.
Like Connor, Michaela, and Laurel, they haven't actually killed anyone. I want to say they just helped cover it up, but I don't even think Annalise has like done the dumping of a body or anything. She couldn't actually go to jail for any murder because she hasn't done any of it.
I know, it's funny because Annalise is the only one that's been to jail for a period of time.
Yeah.
And she has never been an accessory to murder or murdered anyone. But the whole of Keating 5, they have all been accessories to murder. Some of them have even murdered. and none of them have been in jail, none of them have done time. Like, this reiterates my point. The good people get screwed over. The bad people keep winning. Like, I don't like this.
I'm trying to think,
I don't
Oliver
like this.
as well. I don't think he's covered up a murder, has he?
I mean, Simon, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Simon, but
It's an accessory.
But that wasn't murder.
It was a murder.
Annalise has definitely done some jail-worthy stuff because of all the manipulation and stuff that goes on in every single episode. There was a lot of questionable decisions made this episode. I didn't really understand why some people were doing what they were doing. I feel like Nate, the guy he beat up was the one that killed his dad, but that doesn't give you a free pass from beating up someone, does it?
Well, that sort of was really unnecessary. Like, what happened to that guy? Like, he was a cop. Like, surely he could have Nate done for beating him up.
Yeah, I get why he did it, because they said that his hand was already busted from when he beat up Miller, so he had to do something to explain that, otherwise he'd be investigated.
I thought that. Because, obviously Nate's got some wound from killing Miller.
Yeah.
So how is he going to explain it? He's got to beat up someone else and put it all on that.
But
so
I feel like that's a bit plot holey if he doesn't face any repercussions from doing that.
I just don't know how they're going to get away with this. Like, now everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone knows now.
Everyone.
Keating, 5, Annalise, they know now. Like, Asher crumbled so quick. Like, as soon as he got through the door and, like, the gang asked, like, oh, have you heard about Miller? You know, you were at work all day, did you not know? And he was like, no. But Michaela clocked onto him immediately.
He did what I do when I lie, though. He sat at the front and faced away from them the whole time. That's what I do.
I was like, yeah, I should do that. Like, that.
Because I go really red when I lie, and like I get caught out for something, because you can't hide the redness in my face, and so I face away from people and I'm like, no, I didn't eat your last chocolate bar, Mum.
Asher looks so guilty, and he just came out with it.
Yeah. But they were gonna find out. I think they have to know.
Nate just told Annalise, and it was confusing. I don't know why he told her, because he said, I don't want you to cover this up for me. I just want you to know. Like, why? Surely you want
Frank kept telling him to tell Annalise. I don't really know what they want her to do, though. But they just kept. Frank was like, "You've got to tell her." But
they're just going to tell her this information and expect her to do nothing with it. Is that what they want?
Yeah, it's just like letting her in. Oh, by the way, this happened. You should probably be aware of it.
Like, I don't get their game plan here. Like, they've handled this so poorly. I expected better. Like, it was okay for an episode when it was just Nate, Bonnie, and Frank. But now
everyone's in on it. It's getting a bit questionable. I feel like. Do you think they'll end up going to prison for anything that they've done? Do you think they'll get caught in the end?
To. It'd be very good justice. Can you imagine the ending is like they dig up everything? I'm talking fucking that girl from the start. Was it Lily?
Lila,
isn't it? Yeah, dig up stuff like Lila, Sam, all of that.
That stuff's all been
shit.
Explained away.
Emily!
They have to find a discrepancy in order to do that. Yeah, now that we're getting close to the show, I can't think of how I want it to end. I haven't really thought about the ending much because there's been so much for us to sift through, but I don't know how I want it to end, because I don't really want them to go to jail, because I am rooting for all of them. I like all the characters. I don't want them to go to jail, but then also it feels like a horrible message to let them get away with everything that they've done. Like, you have to be this ruthless in the world in order to get by, and then it seems like that's a bad message to portray to people.
It's true, but also if you think of the title, How to Get Away with Murder, I think they're going to get away with murder. I think they are. I entertain the idea of them all sharing like a row of jail cells, like, you know, they're all like neighbours behind bars. Like, I can imagine that being kind of sort of justice for all their victims, even though they are kind of good guys. It's really like a bit of a mindfuck, but I am rooting for them as well. So it's like, I don't really mind how it ends.
Because it is
what I'm trying
like,
to
who
say.
have they actually killed? They've killed Sam. They've killed Rebecca. Emily.
Yeah,
Frank
Frank's
should go away
got
for a
a
lot. For
I
his
know,
dad.
Frank with Annalise's baby, like, Frank's got a lot. Like,
And the
you know.
hitman, he killed a hitman too in season 3 when he was on his very dark era.
Oh god,
Yeah, Frank's done a lot of unjust deaths, but some of them, oh, it's so hard because I do like them all, and I don't want Frank to end the series going to jail, but he does
satisfying
deserve
though.
it. Yeah, but knowing that Frank's gonna rot in jail forever, is that really what we want? Me watching season 1, I probably would have wanted it, but now I like Frank. I don't want him to go to jail.
Oh my god, I never thought I'd hear you say you like Frank. You were such a Frank hater.
Bro, what? I've liked him for like the past 3 seasons. But I was trying to think of the people they've killed, because I was thinking they've killed bad guys mostly, and then we started getting into Frank just killing people for the sake of it. Emily Sinclair, I mean, technically she didn't deserve it, but she was so horrible. I was glad to see her gone.
Stand her. God, I think she deserved it personally. She had it coming to her. The amount of shit she did, but yeah.
Dominic's a tough one because he killed Wes, so like we hate him, but he also at the end was trying to help Laurel and to tell her what her dad was doing. He was warning her to stay safe and stuff, so he was kind of on her side, but Frank killed him.
It's a tough one, that, but I don't like Dominic for obviously killing Wes. You should.
Yeah, and then Ronald, obviously. Ronald is the most unjust of all. Ronald Miller. I don't like calling him Ronald.
Why are you calling him Ronald? Like, I was like, who the fuck are you talking about?
I'm not a nickname person, am I? I call him Ronald.
I go full name. Also, Denver deserved, by the way.
Yeah, but they didn't kill Denver.
Was it someone? Oh, it was Jorge, yeah, because it was getting too much for Jorge to risk having him alive.
Yeah. Jorge killed him, and then Wes obviously didn't deserve it. In my eyes, he did kill people, but
some people just need justice in the show. Wes and Miller.
If something does happen to do with the Keating 5 and everyone getting sent down or investigated to do with everything they've done, they would have to find a discrepancy with Wes's story, and I think that's what Gabriel is trying to do. He's trying to find out what really happened to Sam, and then he'll tell it to someone, and then they'll realise Wes didn't kill Sam, and the investigation will be reopened.
Yeah, it's a whole can of worms, like, if you dig too deep.
Yeah.
I think Gabriel is in some murky water at the moment. I think if he keeps going down this path, he's gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
I don't want that for him. I like Gabriel.
I just want to know. I don't really like him or hate him because I just don't trust him. So I'm kind of warding off. I like how he's been portrayed, but now I'm so distrustful of him. I don't know if I can believe how he's been portrayed. So I don't really have much of an opinion on whether I'm rooting for him or not, because I now think he's been tasked with taking them all down, and I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't trust him either, but I just think about what he's been through, and I just can't help but feel sorry for him.
If he's ringing Ronald, Miller.
Call him Miller!
If he's ringing Miller, then maybe he's not taking them down. But how does Miller know who he is? That's the question.
Maybe he's calling Miller to thank him for something.
Well, no, he said the plan's been ruined. They know who I am.
I'm not going to rate this one highly. Although it was a good episode, I don't like all this manipulation going on. So it's going to be an 8 out of 10 for me. It was a good ep. You know, it's low for our standards.
I was joking because that's exactly what I'm going to give it as well. But
right, okay.
I'm thinking we rarely give this show below an 8 out of 10, and that is so good, like, in terms of the general standard.
Yeah, like, we've never given it below like a 7. And yeah, it was a good episode, but all this manipulation had my brain going for a loop and just trying to keep up with everyone's lies and their stories they're conjuring up. So I think they're just digging themselves into a massive hole, and I don't really want to see the aftermath.
Well, I've given it an 8. I like that they got Asher involved first, because as you said, he's normally the one that's behind everyone.
It didn't last long though. It lasted like 10 minutes.
But he was a vital part of the plan at the start.
Yeah.
I like that we found out pretty early on whether or not Miller was innocent. That wasn't a season finale wait. We found out that he was innocent, and now I hope Bonnie and Nate feel bad. I think the slowest part of me was actually the Annalise and Eve scenes, because I can't really think of what they really did. They spoke about Eve's relationship and, you know, what Annalise wants out of life and stuff, but yeah, they kind of just ended the way they've always been, where they clearly have always loved each other, but they're just not together, and their scenes kind of felt like what we've seen before with them just, you know, making digs at each other about their past relationships and their current ones, and just being bitter over the fact that they've never been with each other when they could, if they chose to be.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. But Tegan, I'm also very much here for. We know that she is also into ladies, and as I say, when Emmett said, "Are you interested?" she was like, "No."
She got very defensive.
Yeah, very flustered. So that seems like she might be. So yeah, as I said, I want more Tegan. So for her to be Annalise's love interest, I would definitely give her more screen time. So I'm here for that. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching our reaction to season 5, episode 10 of How to Get Away with Murder. If you want to watch our uncut reactions to How to Get Away with Murder, the link to the Patreon page will be in the description below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. I will see you next time for episode 11. Bye.
Bye.